recorded from a doorbell camera. 3 lights float over Sunrise, Florida as more or less an equilateral triangle before separating. What is assumed to be the same event by a different witness was also captured.
You cannot tell me.
By speeding the footage up, the synced and fluid motion between the objects becomes even more apparent. It almost looks as if they are attached together in some way. They make an almost perfect rotation as one. Very interesting. Here you can see UFOs pulsing with light, then fading into the darkness.
Oh, it's moving so fast.
Like, there's no way I can explain that.
That's the UFO.
It kind of looks like a hospital heart rate monitor in the sky.
That's a UFO.
5 pulses were recorded before the video ends. A short clip of a UFO recorded by BBC News, apparently during a live broadcast. The object is unfazed by the huge explosion, and continues on its path, blinking on and off before exiting the screen.
One HD double.
Not a UFO, but a very bizarre aerial phenomenon. If you look close, you can see an oddly shaped pyramid-looking cloud in amongst this mega lightning storm.
Right now, is it?
Shoot it, shoot it.
Oh, look, look, right there.
Look, 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 look. Look at the way it looks. Look.
An amateur astronomer's footage went semi-viral this week showing a circular shadow passing over the surface of the moon. A rough estimate of the speed is 12,000 miles per hour, that is assuming the object is flying just above the moon's surface. The footage was caught in 2007, but has picked up traction once again, so I thought it was worth sharing with you guys. As it passes Grove Crater, we are able to estimate its size to be approximately 14 kilometers, or 8 miles across. Again, that is assuming the object is right next to the moon. Another observation somebody pointed out was, if the object is not a shadow, and is right next to the surface of the moon, we would be able to see it lit up to some degree, unless the object was so dark and unreflective that it absorbed all light.
My gosh.
Footage of what I'm sure fooled many this month, was widely shared across many UFO online spaces. Thanks to the expertise of a few eagle-eyed UFO footage veterans, this video has been debunked as a CG layer map placed over the GIMBAL UFO footage from 2020.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
By placing the videos on top of one another, you can see, everything lines up apart from the object. Some interesting arguments were also made claiming this was the GIMBAL UFO footage, just converted to daylight. However, the II indicator is still present during this daytime footage, when it should read EO when regular. If you've liked what you have seen thus far, consider subscribing to my second channel, where I upload a best UFOs of the week video, along with shorts, and occasional other UFO vids, link in the description. Also, leaving a like would be much appreciated, it may help us to escape this algorithm jail we have been put in. Thanks, now back to the video. Interesting footage was caught over the Netherlands this week. It's been described as a polygonal-shaped craft floating through the sky. The lack of reaction from the witness seems odd, but I guess we all deal with these situations in our own way. Unfortunately, the witness was having issues with the camera's zoom and focus function, so clear footage only accounts for 4 seconds of the 1-minute video. It hovered for around 20 minutes before it became too dark to see. Black quote, jellyfish-like object, flies over the deserts of Salt Lake City.
What's that?
This illustration helps us to comprehend the physics-breaking movements of the UFOs documented by the DoD.
At 13,000 miles an hour and change directions instantly. We fly the SR-71 at 3,200 miles an hour. If you wanted to take a right-hand turn, it would take you roughly half the state of Ohio to do it. And yet what we're seeing are objects that can do 90-degree turns instantly.
The amount of G's exerted after making a turn like this would instantly destroy any occupants 10 times over, along with vaporizing the craft.
And we're not talking about speeds of 3,200 miles an hour. They've been clocked at over 13,000.
This clip was taken from a documentary I am yet to watch. If I find any more clips like this, I'll make sure to share it with you guys. 3 black helicopters surround a stationary object over the US. This was recorded in August of last year but went semi-viral again this week. The witness says he was forced to cut the video short, since he had pulled over on the highway to get the footage.
Three helicopters, a dot. They're trying to, that's a UFO right there, or that's something else.
A flashing object shrouded in dense clouds was recorded in the skies above Phoenix. Witnesses state the object is in the clouds, which may explain why it is disappearing from view between flashes.
It's like taking flash pictures. Here's an airplane about to go over it.
If you look at the timer here, you can see the light flashes precisely every second, which means we can say with some certainty, it isn't aliens. I'm leaning more towards a drone for this one, but can't say for sure. Military tech is always a possibility. Take a listen to this ominous sound recorded in the early hours of the morning. OP compared the sound to a dragon-like roar. Just to be clear, he didn't think it was a dragon, just that it sounded like a typical TV movie rendition of one. Watch as these 2 UFOs merge over Austria. Straight after the merge, they fade into the sky. If you think you have a good explanation for what is happening here, please leave a comment. Glowing orange UFO floats silently through the sky. Note that it moves in the path of most resistance, towards the wind blowing the clouds. Accidentally caught at Doncaster Airport, a UFO can be seen for just over half a second as a plane comes into land. The distracting flash in the middle of the plane is a visibility strobe. It pulses at a very inconvenient moment. Many explanations can be given about what the object is. If it is crossing in front of the plane, if it's the far side, not so much. Looking closer, the object looks to go completely out of view when meeting the plane. No hints can be detected at all. I have stabilized the footage and added a line that maps the object's flight path. Take note of the two central landing lights. They cross the object's path close to perfectly. If the object was to be crossing in front, we would expect there to be at least some slight dimming of the lights. A US news host describes an advanced tech defense field that is thought to surround some UFOs with an undetectable bubble, which scrambles the brains of those that are curious enough to wander too close.
We got a call from this guy who's a tenured Stanford medical school professor. He comes on and he's like, 11 years ago, the US government reached out to me because I'm an expert on head injuries, on brain injuries, traumatic brain injuries, and they had all these court cases from families of US servicemen, over 100, who'd been killed by UFOs. UFOs appear to be attracted, for whatever reason, to nuclear energy. So at nuclear missile bases in the upper Midwest, for example, nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, nuclear-powered submarines are all getting buzzed by these objects. And in a number of cases, these things have landed on military bases, including famously in Germany, in West Germany in the 70s.
I wanted to give more details about what incident he was referencing here. However, I was unable to find the case. He could have possibly be getting it mixed up with the Rendlesham Forest or Bentwaters incidents, but I am not sure. If you know, please leave a comment.
And servicemen have approached them, and they approach and they get traumatic brain injury, or they're killed. And he studied their brains.
There are numerous other reports of encounters with UFOs ending with the instant death of the witnesses, but due to limited information and possible redactions, the exact causes are not disclosed.
What is that?
Whilst walking his dog across some fields, a man captures a slow-moving sphere float over his head.
I don't know if I got it. Why is it just... There's nobody here. Nobody's here. Just me and you. Things in the air. It just launched from somewhere.
Deep-sea drone operator, Chase Bentley, with over 5,000 hours experience in the field, captures footage of what he can only describe as a USO. Chase was interviewed about the sighting, where he was quizzed on what makes this footage out of the ordinary.
Why is it significant that something, mechanical would be down that deep?
It seems like it'd be easy to put a drone or something 5,600 feet underwater until you really understand what's behind doing something like that. And to have something moving down there under its own power, the battery power would be immense. Also, this was tetherless. Without a tether, it would have no human control.
The look, shape and movement of the object is enough to rule out any sea life. Its speed also rules out any junk/inanimate object that may be drifting around down there.
How do we know this is not organic? This isn't a fish or something like that?
Well, the video footage, albeit not the clearest, it's pretty clear to see that it's not a fish. We spend thousands and thousands of hours looking underwater and around these areas. We know what the fish look like, and this pretty clearly isn't fish. Lots of people that have seen the video have 30, 40 years in the industry, and they're saying, well, it's not a fish, but I don't know what it is. It's really out of the bounds of what I think we have technology of making right now. If somebody gave me a $10 million budget and said, make this thing, I don't think it's possible.
Chase goes on to talk about the encounters other experts working in the industry have had with USOs. I have left a link to the full interview in the description. Definitely worth the watch.